and the glamour of the United Monarchy. However, the gate probably dates to the 8th century BC, and Solomon is supposed to be in the 10th century. So you have 2 centuries between Solomon as an historical figure, and there was a Solomon, and the gate, which is much later.
So biblical archaeology got the dating of the Solomonic gate completely wrong.
Solomonic gate and many other monuments, because the whole dating, the whole system of dating of the strata, archaeological strata, and the monuments related to the period of the United Monarchy, a little bit before and a little bit later, was, in my opinion at least, completely wrong.
This is a bombshell. Archaeology now tells a completely new story of Jewish origins. No big kingdom, as the Bible tells us, no exodus from Egypt either, just scattered small settlements in the hills. In the north, these develop into a kingdom called Israel. In the south, there's another called Judah. Its capital is Jerusalem, but it's not at all as the Bible tells us.
First of all, you look at Jerusalem, but what you see is not a great city, a capital of a great empire. You see a small village, very limited in number of people.
A small village?
A small village, very limited in number of people. There's almost nothing there, few pieces of shirts here and there, and not much more than that. And then also, even more important than that, in order to have a text, so powerful and so elaborate and so advanced, you need to see evidence of inscriptions. Archaeology does not provide this evidence. I mean, literacy comes mainly, and inscriptions and writing and scribal activity, all this comes much, much later, centuries after the days of David and Solomon.
More bombshells. We'll lose not just King David and the Exodus, but all the Genesis stories too. Abraham's promise, Isaac and Jacob, all of them now have a question mark beside them. It's one thing to consider stories about Adam and Eve and Noah as mythical, because they are those kind of stories. But if Finkelstein is right, as I think he is, then it's much more serious. I decided to resolve the matter by taking a closer look at the book, the text itself. Was it what it claimed to be, a unique testament, the Word of God, or was it just another piece of literature?
The new 7-seat Verso. How Verso are you?
Can't blame them. Nah.
Reckon if it ain't the amber nectar, don't even bother.
That'll be the 735 from Dubbo. Yeah.
See Britain's best-loved comedian in a dramatic new light.
Distinguished guests, and just in case, Your Majesty.
Exclusive footage, newly uncovered notebooks and audio tapes.
Doctor has a great reputation. They say that if you're a deaf dog, he'll pull you through.
The Unseen Eric Morecambe, Monday at 9 on 4.
Modern archaeology has exploded the idea that the Old Testament is an accurate account of ancient history, but it tells us nothing about who actually wrote the Bible. For that, you need to go back to the text. When you look at it more closely, it's a bit of a muddle. Take the creation story in Genesis 1. God creates the heavens and the earth, the animals and the fish, and then finally gets round to creating humankind. So God made man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, created he them. Then in Genesis chapter 2, he does the same thing all over again, but this time he begins with creating Adam and then finally gets round to creating Eve. Now, this isn't the first incident of its type. There are 2 flood stories and 2 call